Órale, chingones y chingonas. Damn, how come I only got that up, man? Hold on, Holmes. I'm slipping right here, dog. Let's put that up right there. What is going on, chingones y chingonas? Los tres chingones boxing, homie. Bam, we're back at it Fridays, Holmes. I just couldn't wait to get back on and chop it up with my brothers, man, to talk about the nice, sweet science, dog. So, hey, man, let's go ahead. Let's go bring them in. We got one Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, what's going on, Cholo Trucker? Excited, man, because we're going to talk about our favorite subject, boxing. And you know what? We have so much to talk about. Listo. Para entrarle.
Yeah, Mike is running a little bit late, but he should be here joining us. So yeah, we'll be getting Mike on here pretty soon. First of all, David, how's your time off, real quick, man? Like, how was your
You know what? We just moved from Fort Lauderdale to Tampa, and hey, brother, you know what? We were living in a condo. Everything was done for us. Now I have a house. Y sabes que now I have to do everything. So, there's a saying, you could see the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, me personally, I could see the light at the end of the boxes. I mean, we had boxes. I don't know what my wife collects or what I collect, pero I could finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, I'm in my man cave. I got my posters up. One side is all boxing. The other side is all football. Y listo para entrarle. So, you know what? I worked my ass off for the past 2 weeks, and I still got another 2 more weeks to go to finally finish. Pero looking forward, man. You cannot believe how much forward I've been looking for tonight's show. We have so many things to talk about. And I also have an announcement I want to make at the end of a new cop show that I'm going to be a part of starting next week. But we'll talk about it at the end. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I heard about that. You guys stick around, man. That's going to be a good one. Hey, from Mike Angelino Sports or Mike Angelino Boxing, let's go ahead and bring in one Mr. Mike Zavala.
What it is, Ed? Oh, man. New year, new us. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, before I forget, you know what? Congratulations to G Funky. He just made his 2,000 mark. He has 2,000 active listeners watching his show. I just saw that he gave us a good evening. G Funky, I watch your show all the time. Y sabes que? Hey, I love your show, homeboy. And congratulations on the 2,000 mark that you just hit.
Yeah,
congratulations
to our boy G Funky. There's another good one right here, man. D-Style Boxing.
Otro. Yeah, D-Style también.
Yeah,
good show. I watch him
straight out of Texas, home. So I used to live in Texas for about 6 months. I don't know a lot of people know about that, but for about 6 months of my life, I lived in South Texas, man. So bad boys, what you gonna do? I was giving you a shout out there, David.
Órale,
bad boy song. Gentlemen, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the fights that happened this past Saturday. There was a pay-per-view event. The pay-per-view star Gervonta Davis was doing his thing. PBC Showtime doing it up out there in Washington, D.C. I do want to get into the melee that took place out of the ring. I read up on that. I didn't have a chance to get into that earlier in the week, but I do want to talk a little bit about that. But first, David, what was your thoughts on Bubu Andrade?
You know what? He's boring. He's a boring fighter. And, he's taken, about a year, 2 years off. He hasn't fought anybody. No disrespect to the guy that he fought. Actually, he fought Demon Nicholson. I'd never heard of Demon Nicholson. And he didn't look spectacular. He didn't look good. He actually got knocked down I believe in the first or second round. They didn't call it a knockout. I'm not a fan. And you know what? I want to see him fight Charlo. I want to see him fight some of the guys at 168, but not a fan. I was not impressed with him at all.
You're saying Bubu got knocked down?
Bubu, yeah, he got knocked down. And like I said, I'm not a fan. His style of boxing reminds me a lot. He loves to run. You know what I mean? Run and hit. I'm not a fan of his style. And I'm not a fan of Bubu.
Mike?
Yeah, his performance was subpar. This was his biggest stage to shine. He had eyes on him. Showtime, I believe, and it was a pay-per-view, Gervonta Davis pay-per-view. There was a lot of fans, a lot of people were watching, and he choked, man. He choked. He fought a guy that, like Dave said, we never heard of, and he did get dropped. If you look, according to the rules, he got dropped because of punch. Was he hurt? Was it a flash? I don't even think he was off balance. I think, but it was a punch that put him off balance. So it should have been kind of knockdown. He's not ready for the big dogs at 68, and he needs to pay his dues before he calls out the big dog, the face of boxing, Canelo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The guy who was fighting Nicholson has been down on the canvas, I think, like 11, 12 times. So yeah, he's not some. That was a knockdown. Okay, he was not tripped. They didn't trip over each other. You don't have to be hurt to be knocked down. If you're off balance, hey Holmes, that's on you. If a punch lands and you were off balance and you stumble over yourself or whatever it may be, that's a knockdown. That is on you. That was clearly a knockdown. I don't know what's up with this referee, and I don't know if anybody caught it, but this referee likes to smack asses. I don't know if you guys saw it when he was telling them to break up. When he was telling them, "Hey, break it," he was smack them on the ass. I don't know if anybody, I don't know if anybody was catching that, man. But no, for sure that was a knockdown. Boo Boo, I agree with you, David. He's always been a boring fighter. When the bell first rang, it looked like he was coming out, guns blazing. It turned into somewhat of a sloppy fight. What is he, 35 years old now, 34, 35. I don't, whatever with them, man. I think he's just going to fade away. I really do. I don't think he ever gets a big fight. I think he just kind of fades away. That's it. The only reason people still talk about him is because of the Canelo haters. The Canelo haters keep on bringing Boo Boo's name up. But if it wasn't for Canelo, Boo Boo would have pretty much just faded away already.
Yeah.
And it's sad because he does have an undefeated record, but against whom they've all been just tune-up fights, man. But yeah, that's the thing with Canelo. Let's move on with Rashid Ellis and Villa. David, what did you see? I went back and I rewatched this fight because I got some thoughts on it, man. What did you see on this, David?
You know what? I had Rashid Ellis beating him on points, 8 out of the 12 rounds. Come the ninth round, Villa's corner told him, ¿sabes qué? Dale gas. Y le dio gas. I got him the 9th, 10th, 11th, then on the 12th round, he knocks him down 2 times. And but because of the 2 knockdowns, I believe that's what gave him the fight. But I had Rashid winning. I believe it was 8 out of the 12. Pero hey, ¿sabes qué? Villa came back like a true actually he's Venezolano, Mexicano fighter, and came back strong. And I like him. I think he's going to be good. I don't see him becoming a champion at 147, but I see him being definitely a good contender and fighting some good, giving us some good fights in the near future. I like him. I like the kid.
Hey, what's up to Dos Matador, Andres, and Paula? Mike, what did you make about this fight, man?
Man, Rashid Wallace,
Ellis.
Sorry, Rashid Ellis. Yeah, he fought a typical South American, man. We don't know these South Americans, but the only thing we know, because of the history of boxing, they're gunners, dude. They're gunners. They're power punches. The Chino Maidanas, the Tauruses. A guy that fought Cotto, he dropped Cotto like 3 times, then Cotto dropped him. I could name Vladimir. These South Americans, these Colombians, these Venezuelans, these Argentinians. They don't have a lot of skill, but they have a lot of balls and they have power. I don't know where this power comes from, but they're known to be gunners. They don't have the best skills, but he faced one of those guys, a guy that we never heard of with a whole bunch of tattoos, and he finished him. And this guy's good. I like him. Another Chino Maidana, maybe.
Look, man, I'm glad he stuck in there. Man, I still probably have Rashid Ellis winning the fight, even with the 2 knockdowns. Maybe a draw. I did not see enough for Villa to win the fight, but all right. Now, I'm going to say this, man. What I was seeing in Villa, he was the bigger guy. He was a taller guy, but he was always making himself go down and smaller, not using his height to his advantage. He would get down when he was ready to punch. He would get down and go down to Ellis's size. And I'm like, come on, man, what are you doing? And I truly believe that when the competition steps up, I would favor Rashid Ellis to do better than Villa, man. Should they have a rematch? Yeah, I don't mind a
Yeah.
rematch because I personally would have edged it out for Ellis. What do you guys see in the rematch? If the rematch does happen, David, do you think
You know what?
Villa will win more decisively?
I think he will because he has his number already. Like everything else, man. Styles make fights, and I think he'll start off stronger. He felt Rashid Ellis' strongest punch, and it didn't phase him. So I think that coming the rematch, I think that it'll be a decisive win, probably with a knockout. Believe it or not, porque he got his number. Rashid Ellis isn't. Before the fight, Rashid was calling out Errol Spence. He was actually calling out Boots Ennis right before the fight. So I think he was exposed. I think this guy has his number, and I think that he'll beat him decisively or with a knockout. Villa will beat Rashid Ellis.
Okay. Mike, what do you D-Style Boxing says Villa is a good guy, Colombian, he can improve for sure. Mike, if this rematch happens, what do you see going on?
Yeah, Villa's gonna walk through him. He's gonna eat his shots, walk through him. He's gonna be more comfortable. He already seen that he could hurt him. Like Dave said, he can't hurt him. Typical South American fighters, man. They're gunners, man. Like I said, and I will call it a knockout. I call it right here on the Tres Chingones. He'll knock him out if they get a rematch.
You know what? I was favoring Rashid Ellis, but no, you know what? That is true. Ellis never, while he caught Villa with some clean punches, he never hurt him, nor did he ever wobble them or make them spaghetti legs or nothing, man. Villa took the punches very, very well. Yet, on the other hand, Villa landed some good punches on Ellis, and they hurt him, and you could tell it hurt him. So yeah, should the rematch take place? Yeah, I guess I would edge it out for Villa, man. I don't. Can he get better? Yeah, I'm sure he can get better. I don't really see him doing too many great things. He's gonna need some time, man. He's really gonna need some time. I wasn't really too impressed. He can take a punch. He can take a punch or two or three or four, yes. But I wasn't really too blown away with him, man. But moving along with Boots Ennis, he is the upcoming rising superstar, man. And a lot of people are pretty high on him. And people were saying Virgil Ortiz, just stay away from Boots Ennis. A lot of the people, they're just like, hey, Spence, stay away from Boots. Maybe even Crawford, stay away from Boots, man, because Boots Ennis, he's a killer and everything. David, talk to us, man. What did you see on Saturday?
Hey, brother, I'm one of the ones that have always said Boots Ennis is great and he's a future of boxing, but he was exposed with this fight. First of all, he fights somebody, once again, no disrespect. Every boxer deserves respect to get in the ring and train and do what they do. But we had never heard, I'm going to kill his name, Shukat Zihim, and we had never heard of him. And once again, you know what? That doesn't matter, but I think he gave everybody the recipe on how to beat Boots Ennis. That left hook was landing all night long, even though, yes, he was running. He was on the tricycle running around, pero he gave the recipe. You know what? Boots Ennis got hit a lot. If Virgil Ortiz hits him with that left hook, Boots Ennis is gone. If Crawford hits him with that left hook, he's gone. If Spence hits him with that left hook, he's gone. I think he needs to go back, rewatch this video, get back with his team, work on that, protecting that left hook. And I still see him as being definitely a contender, but I saw a lot of holes, and I see Virgil Ortiz, without a doubt. I see Crawford, I see Spence capitalizing on it, and he's not the Superman that everybody thought he was.
Yep.
Man, expose is a strong word, man.
Mike,
Mike, what do you say about it, Holmes?
I did a little bit of studying the tape, and I'm gonna break it down real quick. And Virgil Ortiz, Virgil Ortiz with his young career, Boots Ennis has more knockouts than what Virgil Ortiz has fights. But let me tell you like this, man. Virgil Ortiz has faced every style. He faced boxers southpaws, right? McKinnon's. What did he do? He chopped them down and he stopped them. He also fighters with experience. Mauricio Herrera, Mauricio Herrera beat Danny Garcia. He made him look easy work. A veteran with a lot of experience. He beat him, make it look easy. Long fighters, Maurice Hooker, fighters that use the Philly shell. He exposed how to penetrate the Philly shell. He fought Samuel Vargas, and he was being successful when he was in the ropes. I was watching the fight today. And what Virgil Ortiz uses footwork, and when you penetrate the Philly shell, you got to go to the side where the jab's at. When you're here, this hand is you expose it and you use your footwork to go behind it, and that's what Virgil Ortiz does. He has IQ, and that's how you expose the Philly shell. Floyd did it when he fought Gotti. Look at that fight. That's how you beat the Philly shell. This kid has fought every style. Boots Ennis, come on, man. He's garbage truck juice, man. He's hype. He's hype. Sorry, he's hype. Virgil Ortiz is the man, dude. Sorry.
Oh man. Okay. I what G Funky is saying right here, man, is basically what I'm gonna be echoing. I was high on Boots Ennis. I still am high on Boots Ennis. You know, I'm not gonna let this just say this one performance say like, this guy is complete trash. I still am pretty high on him. But this right here, he looked bad, man. And I'm not talking about he looked bad like he got beat up. No, he just looked bad. Basically, what G Funky saying right here, his ring IQ looked terrible. His footwork didn't look good. He was way off balance. He missed by a mile at some times, man. And when he missed, he was doing the spin-a-rooney, Holmes.
Yep.
He was spinning all the way around. Like he was doing the spin-a-rooney, man. Shout out to Booker T. That looked, it looked bad, man. It really did. And when you're an upcoming star with a lot of hype behind you saying like, this is the next guy, and you're out there and you're swinging for the fences and you're spinning around and you're off balance and your footwork isn't there and you don't know how to cut off the ring and the other fighter is running around and you can't walk him down, you can't cut the ring off, you can't set any traps. It just does not look good, man. And once upon a time, I was kind of buying into the whole thing of like, ooh, man, you know, maybe he does take Virgil, you know, maybe, man. For those who don't know, let me go ahead and put it out here. Virgil Ortiz is my favorite fighter right now. He has been. He has been for well over a year, man. I love everything about that kid, man. The way he fights, just the way he carries himself, his personality. He's not out there the pendejo or anything, man. He's just a good, solid kid, man, and he just comes into the ring and takes care of business, man. He's my favorite fighter, and I was thinking like, man, you know what? Maybe Boots can take him. Not after this performance, because I cannot see Virgil Ortiz doing the spin-a-roonies like that and being way off balance and off footwork and, you know, just trying to chase this guy down and not being able to cut off the ring. And at some point, don't you just stop and say like, okay, I'm not going to chase you. Now you got to come to me, you know? But he made him look pretty bad, pretty foolish. Did he win the fight? Yes. Boots did absolutely win the fight. Where does he go from here? I don't know. What do you guys want to see from Boots Ennis, man? That's something that's realistic.
Go ahead,
David. You know, Boots Ennis, I think that he needs to go back and look at that tape and work on his defense. Who do I want to see him fight? I would have loved to have seen him fight Thurman, but now Thurman, we'll talk about that. It's going to 154, but I think that would have been a good fight for him because Thurman is a body shot guy and Thurman's going to stand with him. I'd like to see him fight something like that. I'd like to see him fight Stanonius, and he's fighting Virgil, but we'll talk about that too. I like to see him fight there, but he definitely needs to get back in the ring. He needs to work on that defense and work on that footwork and work on cutting off the ring.
Yeah, saludos, Cortura Cafe. G Funky says he relies too much on his size and athleticism.
Yes.
Mike, what do you want to see from Boots?
Yeah, now I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit. Yes, the kid's good. And we look at the bright side of it. He got 12 rounds of work, and that's what you need. You need 12 rounds of work. He needs to fight a guy. He needs to fight guys like Virgil Ortiz, guys with different styles, but you could get better, man. Southpaws, runners, bangers. Like I said, Virgil Ortiz he fought every style. He's way ahead of Boots Ennis. I like the kid. I love his thing, but he needs to work on a lot of stuff. He didn't adjust in that fight. It was the same thing. Just like Teofimo Lopez, the same thing. No adjustments. He didn't cut off the ring and make the other fighter fight. You're the star. You're the guy that is calling out the big dogs. You have to make a statement. And it was just the same thing. So he got good work, man. 12 rounds. So I like the kid. We'll see. He needs to fight different styles, like I said.
That's exactly where I was going. I was going to go with Mean Machine. I would like to see him fight Mean Machine for sure. What you just said right there, Mike, was Virgil has more experience because of the level of competition he's faced. Yet, what's funny, Boots has much more fights than Virgil Ortiz. I don't know it from the top of my head, but I know he's got many more fights than Virgil. But yet, Virgil has fought much better competition.
He fought Mean Machine. Oh my God!
So that's why, man. I think Virgil is where he's at, man, and his style is just so much more better. And I would like to see them throw down. I was a little nervous, man, because I love my man Virgil Ortiz, but now I just think Virgil, man, is a much his pedigree is much better, and his ring IQ, and I just don't see that happening to Virgil. What I saw with Boots, but Boots got the victory, so there we go, right? So
just Ed, Boots' record is 30-0-27 knockouts. And Virgil Ortiz has 19 fights, 19 knockouts. So Boots has more knockouts than Virgil Ortiz has fights. But Virgil Ortiz fought Mean Machine, a killer. He fought every style, man. So
old school, a lot of good fighters. Yeah.
Let's get to the main event. Why does this stuff have to be pay-per-view? Hey, okay, whatever, man. Okay, Hector Luis Garcia moves up in weight to face Gervonta Tank Davis for a Mickey Mouse belt. David, your thoughts? What did you see in this fight? What did you like? What didn't you like?
Well, once again, Gervonta Davis, I mean, he's fighting, champion at 130. And Gervonta Davis, I mean, he's small in stature, but Gervonta Davis has that Mike Tyson style. He has that Mike Tyson hit, and I'm not comparing him to Mike Tyson at all, but he hits like a mule. You know what I mean? We saw it when he fought Leo Santa Cruz, when he fought Barrios, and all it takes is that one punch. You know what I mean? All I could say is we saw that coming, and I hope Luis Garcia, Hector Luis Garcia, I hope this didn't affect him as a champion. I believe he's the IBF champion at 130. That hit on the side of the head, I don't know if he's going to be the same after that fight. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I've been reading a lot of on the Twitter accounts, I've been reading a lot of people criticizing him, saying that he was afraid to come out. He stayed down purposely. I don't see that. I believe that he got hit so hard that it did take maybe at that second his equilibrium. Maybe he couldn't see because he kept saying in Spanish, "No puedo ver, no puedo ver." But the announcers don't speak Spanish, so they didn't understand what he was saying. But that's what he was actually saying before he even sat down. He was telling his coach that. I can't wait for Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. I can't wait for that fight. I think that this fight was a good for promotion. It was going to promote that big fight coming up, and I think it was good work for Gervonta Davis, especially because he's his worst enemy. I mean, a week before he had been placed under arrest, whether there were false allegations or real allegations for hitting his girlfriend or wife, whatever she is, was in jail. So a lot of things happened to distract him from this main event, but he did very well because, well, like I said, I don't think he was 100% there because of what happened the week before and everything else that has happened in his personal life.
Mike, what was your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, like Dave said, man, it's a little guy. He moved him up to 135. It's a champion, but at 130, uh, Hector Garcia, he did pretty good in the beginning. He was successful. He was staying in the pocket. He was landing on Javante, and I think he felt the effects of what happened a week prior with his baby mama and the stuff he's going, these allegations. It's affecting him, man. And with the Ryan Garcia fight, Hector landed on you. If Ryan Garcia, whoever lands first, but if Ryan Garcia lands first, he's gonna knock him out, man. We seen Javante Davis face. He got hit, and yes, and later on in the fight, Javante Davis started chopping him up and finished them. Yeah, the little guy. And we seen this before. He brings these guys up and he finishes them at the end. So he looked okay. Oh man, I'm giving Garcia the edge on if they fight in April.
Yeah, so so am I. Yeah, man. I thought this was gonna be a pretty good matchup, and it was. Hector Luis Garcia was holding his own. He was doing pretty good. Had it gone the distance, no, I don't think the judges were gonna give it to Garcia. Not at all. But I thought he was doing pretty good. I thought he was holding his own. I had said it earlier that he drops his hands too much, man. Garcia does, especially when he throws more, when he throws some combinations. When I was watching him face Bluehead Chris Colbert, he had him against the corner and he's throwing punches and he's bringing it back down here instead up to the guard. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. Tank is going to catch him with one and that's going to be over. And look, he was holding his own. I was starting to think like, okay, we're going to have a good fight. And I thought it was a pretty good fight. I thought it was a pretty good competitive fight till we got to the 8th round. Something happened outside of the ring. I don't know if anybody read up on it. Apparently, there's a rapper named Meek. He gets into it with Gary Russell Jr. This is just what I read. Is this correct or not? I don't know. But apparently, Meek is talking about that Gervonta Davis is the best at 135. Gary Russell Jr. disagrees with him. I don't know what Gary Russell Jr. is thinking, but he's disagreeing with them. It gets a little heated. They go back and forth with each other, and then a little melee breaks out, man. And I'm like, I don't really understand. And it was Meek and his posse that actually go to the back. Now, Meek apparently was there because he knows Gervonta Davis and Boots Ennis, and he was there to support Tank Davis. What is Gary Russell Jr. arguing about? I don't know, because he doesn't fight at 135. So unless he's like good homies with Devin Haney or something, I'm not really sure how they really got in some sort of big argument to it led up to what it is, unless there was already some tension from something else. But that's what I read. Did you guys read anything else? Did you guys hear anything else?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
You know what? I heard the same thing, but I was surprised that they stopped the fight.
Yes.
I mean, one of the last times that I remember stopping a fight, I don't remember exactly who was fighting, but it was a parachuter that actually came in the ring. And there was a reason why that was one. Another time, a couple of times, the lights have gone out. But because there's a fight, those of us that have been to fights, there's fights all the time. Yep. And I'm really surprised. Hopefully that referee is going to get sanctioned, because he shouldn't have stopped the fight. Because actually Garcia, Garcia was already getting on a roll. And after that, right after that, a round or two later is when he got knocked out. I'm not blaming it on that, but I was surprised. And I hope this doesn't set precedents in the near future that they stop fights because there's fights in the, the people watching it. I hope that doesn't set precedent. I hope they don't start doing that, because if they do, we're going to be seeing timeouts at every fight that we go to, because there's always fights.
Right. And David, I believe it was the same round when they stopped the fight.
Yeah, you're right.
It was the same round that Tank landed those two shots, and then he didn't answer the following round, which was the 8th round, and he didn't come off for the 9th. Mike, did you hear anything different, and what was your thoughts of them stopping the fight?
Yeah. Like Dave said, it's Meek Mill. He's a rapper from Philadelphia or DC, but I think he's from Philadelphia. He's pretty famous. He comes out with Rick Ross and all that. But he's outdated. I don't know. But Gary Russell Jr. That guy's annoying, man. He's disrespectful. He's dude. No, he's done. I don't like him. So this took away from the Tank fight, and like I said, like Dave said, and I told him last time, Garcia had a little momentum in that round, and he was landing on. Oh, I saw something, and then that little rumble happened, and then Garcia turned that way, and he stopped. Then Tank stopped, and the ref stopped it. And then I didn't even see the knockout. I was just too busy thinking of the fight, and then boom, he knocked him out. So it took away from that. It took away from Tank's victory. That's not cool. They should have more security. That's annoying, man. Keep that in the streets. This is boxing, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'm laughing for a reason, man. Look, I'll tell you guys why, but look, this lands on the referee. All right, I'll tell you guys why I'm laughing. Because I've actually been in a fight at a boxing, match. It's been years. It's been years. It was dumb. It was foolish. You know, it was at a small fight at Thompson Thompson Boxing Promotion, right here at the not far from me here in Ontario at the DoubleTree. They have a nice little event little center there at the hotel. And this is years ago, man. I was young, dumb, and full of cum, and we got into a little brawl out there. And no, they didn't stop the fight. You know what? This is on the referee.
Yes,
I don't know why he time. He looks at Tank. Tank starts looking over and stops. If I'm the referee, all I'm going to say to Tank is like, "Hey,
protect yourself at all times. Protect yourself at all times.
The fight's going on. You know, I'm not. Why is the referee? Oh, time, and then let's just sit there and wait.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? This he needs to be penalized. He needs to be fined or something. You do not do that, man. Now, if it got completely out of control, where things are being thrown in the ring and stuff like that, okay, that's a different story. But we have seen brawls happen in the background on television. The fight continues, man. The fight continues. You don't stop the fight unless somebody's throwing a chair in there or unless somebody's getting on the ring or something like that. But yeah, you don't stop the fight. This is on the referee, man. I hope he gets fined. He needs to face some sort of penalty because you do not stop the fight, man. You do not stop the fight. And then the camera goes and shows out into the audience. Yeah. And in reality, even to all the metiches that want to know what's going on, there was no chingazos being thrown out there. It was just a bunch of dudes yelling back and forth at each other. And then Meek, what'd you say? Meek Mill?
Meek Mill.
Yeah, he gets his posse and they take off. And I think he sent out a tweet later saying like, "Oh, I was just there to support my boy Tank and Boots, and it's more important. Their fight is more important, so I decided to head on back," or something like that. But you do not stop the fight, man, unless you really truly have to. But just because Tank stops fighting and looks over, hey, the fight's going on. And if you get knocked out or you go down or whatever, hey, I'm counting. What are you doing? You know, you're in a fight here. So but yeah, I have been in one of those stupid fights, and
they actually paused the stop. They for it was a whole minute where they took a rest for a whole minute. That's like an hour, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then when they resumed action, it was in that same round that Tank landed the good shot where Garcia did not answer the 9th round. Let's talk about that real quick, David. He did not answer the 9th round. What's your thoughts on that? You guys already know there's that bad stigma. It's probably one of the worst things in boxing to say no mas. But David, give me your thoughts, man. What's your personal thoughts on that?
You know what? Over here in Miami, we got Tua, the quarterback, and they have a huge game this weekend against the Buffalo Bills, and Tua's not playing. Why? Because he's under the protocol of a concussion. You know what? That hit in the head, man. I saw it 2 or 3 times after. I replayed it back. That caused this guy, for this guy to say that no puedo ver, for this guy to not get up. I don't believe that he was a crybaby. I don't believe that he was faking it. I believe that literally, man, just threw off his equilibrium, and he was definitely, without a doubt, at a concussion. And I think that it was smart for him to sit, and it was smart for his corner to throw in the towel and saying, "Ya estuvo," because I believe Tank would have definitely hurted this kid, and I don't think he would have remained the 130 champion for long, because you know what, it would have hurt him for a lifetime.
Hey, Vince, I agree. I think those refs were trash that night.
They were.
Yeah, PBC, come on, step up your game, Holmes. Those referees, I did not like it. You got the ass smacking dude. You got this guy. I didn't like him, man. Mike, what do you make of Garcia not coming out, not answering the ninth round?
First of all, Ed, I don't know if you've seen this, but Garcia was in an interview. He was saying that Mexican style, all they do is just punch. That they don't, that it's outdated. They don't have skills. That it's over. That Mexican style, Mexican fighters, that they're trash. That's what basically we said in the interview before the Tank fight. So I was a little disturbed. And hey, man, I understand, Ed. I mean, Dave, that yes, he got hit, and you have to think for his safety. But the ultimate sin in boxing is quitting, especially if you talk trash. If you're talking trash, that Mexican this, Mexican that, and you didn't show no balls, oh man, then you need to shut up. You know what I'm saying? So he quit, man. The ultimate sin is quitting, and the ultimate sin is talking trash and not backing it up. And that's what happened.
Well, I'll tell you, he's going to face a lot of Mexican fighters at 130. You got Valdez there. You got el otro, what's his name, Vaquero, Navarrete there. So all these Mexicans are going to teach this boy a lesson without a doubt.
Oh yeah,
and you know what?
And I can't wait.
And honestly, I think they all beat him.
I do
believe. I'm not hating. I don't care about his trash talking. I truly believe they all beat him. Cortez Cafe says that's why I feel that was staged. Too much commotion for nothing. Yeah, I didn't really see any chingazos being thrown out there. Just a lot of dudes talking trash. Okay, for me, the fact that he didn't answer it. Okay, I'm with you, Mike. It's the ultimate sin, the no mas and all like that. And the thing is that you're Dominican. Okay, and you got, the Dominicans are trying to really come up in boxing. And man, there's some good boxers that were Dominican and everything, but they're far and few in between those that really get legs and really start running with it. And he was one that he was starting to catch some legs. I know what's his name? Broadway Joel from YouTube. Shout out to Broadway Joel out there in I believe in New York. Good boxing show. You guys go check him out. He's Dominican as well. And
shout out to Dominican Republic. I love the Dominican Republic.
He went to go visit Hector Luis Garcia and gave him some trophy as apart from the Dominican people, showing that they're proud for him. When something like that happens, man, and then you quit on your stool, ooh, man, it makes it a little bit rough. However, I also agree with you, David. If you don't got your balance, if your equilibrium is gone and you really can't see, and your vision is foggy and shaky, and you're like, I'm hurt and I feel like I cannot defend myself. I mean, is it that bad to quit? Maybe not to you, to the fan base, probably so. Now, one can say, hey, it's not the fans in there fighting. That is all true. That's all true. However, you do lose fans that way. And in boxing, it's how many fans you got that are willing to pay to watch you fight. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And which one do you choose? Hey, live to fight another day. At the same time, are you ever going to be on this stage? Are you ever going to fight at a main event pay-per-view ever again? I don't think so. You may be in a main event again at 130, but at a main event pay-per-view, at a sold-out crowd where Tank is at, you're never going to be there again. This was your Rocky moment. So, I'm kind of like this with it. In one hand, maybe he was telling the truth, and his eyesight was really gone. His balance wasn't there, and he felt defenseless. And he felt like, if I go back out there, I'm just going out there just to get knocked out. So bam, there's that. And then there's all the other reasons I just gave, man. The Dominicans were behind you. This is your Rocky moment. You're never going to be in this position ever again, man. Go out there and just try to swing for the fences. If that's all you got, hopefully something lands. It's like this for me, fellas. So I can't even really call it, man.
And Ed, just like when Eduardo Garcia, the big G, the trainer for Fernando Vargas, he said, once you quit once, it's going to be easy to quit the second time, the third time, the fourth time. We've seen it before with Victor Ortiz and Chavez. Now we're gonna keep an eye on Garcia. If he quits the second time, oh man, it was the ultimate sin, man. It's the ultimate sin.
Hey, Ed, but before this fight, nobody had really ever heard of Garcia. You know, yes, he beat Blue and he beat some other guy. I remember that. But I mean, for them to put him, a 130 pounder, against a 135 pounder who's really fighting at 140 now, Tank, I mean, that tells you, you know what I mean? This was supposed to be not a setup, but it wasn't supposed to be the real fight. Put Tank. Do you really want to see him? Put him against Camarón. Put him against Camarón at 135. You know what I mean? Put him against the Killers at 135.
Oh, yeah.
Putting in somebody at 130. I mean, that's what he did to Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz had only fought once at 130. He was a 126 fighter. Yeah. He just basically gave up his belt at 126. They put him against Tank at 130. So once again, they're cherry picking, and then they put these guys. He knocks them out. That's why I can't wait. And I agree with Impala. I don't know if that's really going to happen because they're both drama queens. But if it does happen, Impala, I agree with you on that one. If it does happen, I can't wait because now I see an even fight between, and that's why I think it was G Funky or it was D Style saying that's why they're fighting at 136 because Ryan Garcia, he's at 140 now. He's having a hard time coming down to 135. So that's their way of basically having advantage, bringing him down 4 pounds to fight at 136. You know what I mean? Right. And so once again, he's being tricky, you know, bringing the 130 pounder. So we saw what we expected to see.
Yeah. And this fight against Tank Davis was for a baby belt, like Dos Matadores said. Yeah, it's one of those Mickey Mouse belts. So but yeah, that's it's called karma. Hector Luis Garcia, man. Well, we'll see. I do want to see him fight again. I'll be honest. I do want to see Hector Garcia fight again. Next time he fights, I'm definitely tuning in. I want to see what he's got left. But should this fight happen with Tank and Ryan, they're talking about April. I don't know if it happens, guys. I hope it does. The biggest criticism with Tank is what you were just saying, David, is the fact that he's not really fighting anybody, you know, and he's always bringing guys up that are smaller, and then it happens to be pay-per-view, and then Showtime keeps beefing it up by that. They have to keep on saying that house sold out, and this house is jam-packed, and you got 19,000. I mean, dang, dog. He sounded like Gorilla Monsoon back from the WWF days, you know. We got 19,000 packed in here, like really trying to beef it up. So, I mean, it was a good fight, but at the same time, you brought a smaller guy up and you beat him. I don't think anybody thought that Garcia was really going to win that fight, but with that, hey guys, we got some news, man, going on in boxing. A couple fights are made, a couple boxing matches are either postponed or canceled. One that really hurt was the Virgil Ortiz and Montes Chingones. There's every time somebody gets hurt now, you got a lot of people that come out and say like, oh, he's faking it. And that sucks because there are fighters that actually truly do get hurt. It's just you got some fighters that cry wolf. And in this case, I'm not sure if he really got hurt or not. I believe he did. The whole thing was that he was supposed to take the winner of Ugas and Spence, and they did him dirty. They did him dirty because Spence won. Had it been Ugas that beat Spence, then Chingones would have gotten that match. I truly believe that. But no, they're not going to put Montes Chingones in there against Errol Spence. And now that he's got to fight Virgil Ortiz, which I don't think Ortiz loses to him, it just kind of screws over. I feel bad. I will say that. I do feel bad for Montes Chingones because he decided to step aside so the Ugas and Spence fight can happen. And I was really looking forward to this fight. But now we know Spence is going to be fighting Thurman. David, make a little bit of sense to everybody here, man. These are two welterweights, and Spence is champion at welterweight. These guys have not fought at 154. David, what's going on here, man?
You know what? That doesn't make any sense, man. That doesn't make any sense at all. He's a champion on 3. I believe he has 3 belts. He should be fighting for the championship. What the heck is he doing going up to 154? But I truly believe that I think he's going to stay at 154. Like we were saying on our Spanish show on Wednesday, I think that he's real close to the Charlos. I think Charlo is going to beat Tszyu. And after he beats that, he's going to go to 160. So it's going to leave 154 open. Now, do I see Spence staying at 154? Maybe. I really, truly do believe, but it doesn't make sense for him to fight a 147-pound fighter going up with him. He should fight, Lubin. He should fight some of the guys that are already at 154. Fundora. That's a good fight. You know what I mean? You want to go up and fight a contender. So that doesn't make any sense. The only thing that makes sense to me is that he wants to try the weight of 154, how fast he is, and he's going to stay at 154 and vacate the belts, which I like, because now it's going to open the door for Virgil Ortiz, for Boots Ennis. It's going to open the door for all these good fighters, Butev to fight at 147. Because I see a fight at 147 maybe against Crawford. I don't see Crawford going up anytime soon, but I just have a feeling that he's going to stay at 154 because he's a big kid. Spence. So I think he's probably having problems making weight at 147. That's the only reason why I see it going at 154.
Yeah, and look, I said this at the end of last year, somewhere around October, November-ish. I said that by that time next year, I think Virgil will be up at 154. So I think Virgil's going to be up there as well at the end of this year. I believe because Virgil's a pretty big kid too. But Mike, what do you make of this Thurman Spence fight at 154 pounds?
Yeah, this just came out of nowhere. I thought it was at 147. And I'm like, no. But why is he fighting Thurman? Where has Thurman been? He just cut the line. And then I heard last minute it's at 154 pounds. I'm like, come on, this is what's killing boxing. This is what giving boxing a black eye, man. We've seen this with Danny Garcia and Jose Benavidez. They moved up to 154. They never fought there, and now they're doing it again. So I guess that's Al Heyman move or whoever type of move. They're doing that. I don't like it. If you're gonna move to 154, challenge a top contender, top 10 at least. Someone at 154. Thurman? Come on. Ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yes, it is. However, this fight does sell because even though Thurman has been out of action for a while, people still know him. People still recognize his name. People, I think everybody feels the way we do. Like, come on, this guy's been out of the ring for a while, but this fight does sell, because like I said, Thurman is a somewhat of a notable name. The 154 thing kind of throws me off a little bit. I agree that I don't think Spence fights at 147 anymore, but getting a guy that's from 147 and moving him up to 154, I agree. I don't that doesn't really count for you fighting a true 154 pounder. If you don't want to go for a top contender and you just want to test the waters, that's fine, man. There's a lot of tomato cans you could find at 154 pounds to try to see if, okay, let me see how much power I got at this weight class. Let me see if I could take shots from a true, 154 pounder. You just getting somebody from 147 and say, hey, let's both go up. And now that counts for me. It doesn't really count because both of you guys are kind of like guinea pigs testing on each other. It's not really working out. I don't see Thurman. Does this fight end in stoppage, David?
Oh, yeah. I agree with Joaquin Zamora. Spence will put Thurman in a body bag, Cobra Kai style. I agree with you, Joaquin, without a doubt. You know what? If they would have fought at 147, I don't think he would have knocked him out because – that's the weight that they fight. That's the weight. Even Thurman, like you said, Mike, he hasn't been around, but he's still a threat at 147, 154. He's going to be slower. He's going to be sluggish. And I agree also. I believe, who was it, Impala or one of them? I'm reading their comments saying that, I believe it was Joaquin that said Thurman is going to be better and he's going to be good at 154. I agree with you there. I think Thurman is ready to be at 154, and I think he'll be a champion at 154. But he has a lot of Fundora, Lubin. He has so many guys that he's going to have to really true 154 pound fighters to prove himself. So I believe that he's going to stay there, and that's a good weight for him, and he's going to be a contender without a doubt at 154.
Mike, does Spence stop Thurman?
I think so. Thurman hasn't been active. He's probably, if he puts a lot of pressure like he did versus Ugas, he'll definitely walk through him. It's at 154. He's gonna at the second half of the fight, he might die out, dude, because it's that's not his way. He never fought at 54. So
never.
No.
We seen through the experience of watching fights. We seen Canelo at the second half of the fight versus Bivol. He faded out. So I'm expecting Thurman to fade out in the second half of the fight, and we'll see how Spence looks at 54. He's active, and he's a big kid. So I agree with Dave. I agree with who said that he'll walk through him?
Well, I think it was Joaquin.
Joaquin, I agree with Joaquin. He should walk through him, man. Thurman's done. I don't see him.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Thurman hasn't fought in a long time, and you're facing one of the best fighters there is in boxing right now. Both of them going to another weight class. However, Thurman has not been active, and he even his last few fights, it's not like he looked all that great. As a matter of fact, I thought Josecito Lopez had him. But,
yes,
he did. He did. Yeah. 9th round, he had him, man.
Yeah. But before we move on, man, Cortua Cafe, which fight is better? Tank versus Ryan, Benavides versus Plant, Spence versus Thurman. Well, it's definitely not Spence versus Thurman. Tank versus Ryan or Benavides versus Plant, David?
Dude, Benavides versus Plant. That is going to be, you know what? That is personal with these two vatos. I mean, these dudes right here, it's personal. And to me, that's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be the fight of the year because I've said that before and I was wrong. Pero I can't wait for that one because it's personal and that's going to be a great fight without a doubt. That one.
Mike, Benavides versus Plant or Tank versus Ryan?
I'm gonna go with Tank versus Ryan. These guys are they haven't been knocked out. They have power. One shot could end it all. So we're all gonna be on the edge of the seats. I don't think that fight's gonna last. Whoever lands first, it's a wrap. With the Benavides versus Plant, that's Canelo's leftovers. Without due respect to the fighter, but that's Canelo's leftovers. We got to remember that. Yeah, he knocked out the old man. What's his name? He knocked him out on a sensational knockout of the year, maybe. But this is Canelo's leftovers. Canelo. We're gonna see how Benavides, if he touches him, let's see if he knocks him out. If he still has the effects. But like I said, he's gonna expose Benavides' footwork. And Benavides doesn't know how to cut ring like boot spin. It's like boot spin and like Teofimo Lopez. It's gonna be a long night of the same thing, no adjustments, boring fight.
Yeah, I look forward to both, but yeah, if I had to pick one, I think I'd go with Tank versus Ryan, man. Two younger guys, and I like both matchups, I really do. But I can see Benavides versus Plant probably being a dud. I could
really?
I could
it
see.
Depends on Benavides. It depends on Benavides if he can cut the move.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's gonna be a dud, David. But if I had to get two matchups and think which one has the more possibility of being a dud, it's probably that one. It's probably that one. It's not like Plant. He brings the action. Benavides, he has his moments, his fast combinations, and everything like that. But I see that one going the distance more as opposed to Ryan versus Tank.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Luis Colazo almost stopped an active younger Thurman. Yeah, with a body shot. Spence by body shot KO. Yeah, I believe. Dos Matador says Benavides was Plant. All right, we got a couple of match. David, real quick, man, a couple of fights that were made. These sound good, man. Let's get 2023 rocking and rolling, man. What fights have been made, David?
Hey, man, starting February, we got some great matches coming up. You got Brandon Figueroa fighting Fulton, and they're going to fight at 126. Fulton,
Right.
I believe, has 1 or 2 belts at 120, 122.
122.
And when he fought Brandon, I had Brandon winning that fight. Now Brandon's had 1 fight at 126. He looked great. Fulton is coming up. Why he's coming up? Why aren't they fighting back at 122? I don't know, but it's okay. They're fighting for a vacant belt. That is going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to that one. That I got Brandon winning that one, but because once again he's coming up in weight, and Brandon, I believe he beat him at 122, but now he's coming up. That is going to be outstanding. That's going to be on February 25th.
That's good. That one's good.
Yeah.
The first fight was good at 122. Some people thought Brandon won. I didn't think he won. I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a close fight, but I did have Stephen Fulton winning that fight. This is at 126. I like this fight, man. This is going to be good.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts on that, Mike?
Yeah, it's a beautiful fight, man. That's a fight for the aficionados. Maybe it's not going to get worldwide exposure or nationwide exposure. I hope it does, but this is a great fight, man. The first fight was phenomenal. It was. I still think what's his name? The ¿Cómo se llama? The Panterita.
Brandon.
What's his name? Brandon won the fight, a close fight,
Yeah.
but they gave the judges gave it to Fulton, and hey, we're going to see a rematch, and we're going to see another great fight. Yeah.
Good fight right there. What else we got, David?
And then we also have on February the 18th, Lee Wood versus Mauricio Lara. That's going to be another great, outstanding fight. I believe that fight is going to be across the pond. And Lee Wood, I mean, we saw him, man. I mean, he was losing all 10, 11 rounds against Michael Conlon, and he came back Julio Cesar Chavez style, knocked him. I believe he knocked him out of the ring. He hit him so hard, Michael Conlon. And Mauricio Lara, we've seen him beat Worthington, I believe, twice. And I'm telling you, man, that is going to be another great fight. It's going to be across the pond, but it's going to be worth getting up early to watch. That's going to be on February 18th.
Yeah, that's a good one. I am gonna get up to watch that, man. That's all I'll say for that. I am gonna get up to watch that. Hey, G Funky, I was hearing that too, but I did see that the Figueroa and Stephen Fulton fight is made. So unless anything else happens. But yeah, I will be getting up early to see that one. Mike.
Laura, I've been sleeping on him, so I need to do a little bit of research on him. No comment.
Hey, G Funky, the reason why he's fighting Fulton is because the WBC convention made it mandatory. Once again, we don't believe everything they say, but this one actually is going to come to fruition. But everybody thought they were going to fight at 122 for one of the belts, but because Navarrete is going up to 130, now that's the reason. I believe it's Navarrete going up to 130. Vaquero going up to 130, his belt is open, so they're fighting for that belt. So I think the winner of that will probably fight Magsayo for that belt to unite the belts, but that's going to come later on. But it's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and just kind of we're kind of running up against the clock. There are some fights tomorrow on ESPN. I'm actually looking forward on ESPN Plus. Is the fight that I'm really looking forward to with the junior lightweight title with Adam Blue Nose Lopez against Abraham El Supernova. That one is actually going to be good. If you guys are able to catch that, that's actually going to be on ESPN Plus. And then you got the rest of the fights on regular ESPN. But make time to watch that ESPN Plus fight. That's gonna be a good one. David, you got another one, man? Because I really want to talk about something, and we still got to talk about your show, brother.
You know what? One of the last one. There's a lot of good fights coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Benavides, you got Plant in March, you got all these great fights. But another one that it hasn't been announced yet, but there's rumors. Maybe G Funky or D Style can confirm this. Is El Venado Lopez fighting Michael Conlon in April, but this fight is going to be once again going across the pond in Ireland. Why Venado Lopez? And we talked about it the other day, and Mike made a lot of sense saying, you know what, that's where the money's at. But you got to remember, Michael Conlon, when he first started coming to America, he would actually sell out the lower room of Madison Square Garden. I believe that fight should be in America, not in LA. It should be in Madison Square Garden because he does pull the Irish. And now con Venado Lopez, I don't know why. If he accepts the fight, he's going across the pond. And Mike, I texted him and he responded. We're hoping to get him on our Spanish show so he could actually talk about why he would go across the pond. Once again, not only fight against Conlon, but fight against the referees and fight against the judges. Why? Don't know.
I think Mike had a good point. Yeah, on this, there's the ladies that are fighting. They're the main event right now. I think Mike had a great point. I think just there's more money over there. Yeah, if you're gonna make money here, you definitely put it on the East Coast because Michael Conlon, you got the fighting Irish that are gonna show up over there. But across the pond, I mean, they worship these guys, and there's just a lot of money to be made. And if we're just gonna be as honest as possible, with all due respect, Venado Lopez does not sell too well. So
he's not known yet.
Yeah. So all the money's gonna be from Conlon. So the most money he can make is actually, get the fight over there on his home turf. So that's all I can really think of. But real quick, gentlemen, real quick. The fighter of the year. So a lot of people were saying it was Dimitri Bivol. I highly disagree with it. That is, I don't even think he's second fighter of the year. I put him at third, if anything. I could just poke holes all over that. Mike, you were talking about it a little bit. I would say, look, yes, you beat the face of boxing. However, the face of boxing was the challenger, not the champion, and he moved up in weight. Then you beat Zurdo Ramirez. Anybody who really knows boxing knew that Zurdo Ramirez did not stand that good of a chance against Bivol. All Ramirez had going for him is that he's big and he's a southpaw. That is it. Everything else, Bivol did better. Everything. Even power, I would give it to Bivol. In every other aspect, Bivol is better. To me, hands down, easily, Ben Rodriguez was fighter of the year. It was not even. I would even give it. I would put Monster Inoue from Japan ahead of Dimitri Bivol. I would. That guy is badass, and he's moving up to 122. I can't wait to see Monster Inoue. That guy he's a monster. He is badass, man. But easily, hands down. People that come at me with Dimitri Bivol, why? Because he beat Canelo? Yeah, that's a good win. I'm not taking that away from him. Canelo was the challenger, and he moved up. You beat Zurdo? Dog, who really thought Zurdo was all that and a bag of chips, Holmes? Come on, man. That easily, hands down, Ben Rodriguez was the fighter of the year. But, David, brother, you got an announcement to make. Tell the gente about it because it sounds very exciting, man, and I cannot wait. I will definitely be tapping into what you got going on, big dog.
Hey, brother, but you know what? I second you on Ben Rodriguez. He should have been the fighter of the year. And the second one, I agree with you 100%. Inau should have been. And then third, maybe Bivol. But, I'm with you 100% on that one.
Shakur, too? Yeah, Shakur's definitely.
Shakur, he's good, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Without a doubt. Hey, but listen, starting next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 6 o'clock on our YouTube channel, there's a new show that I'm part of. I was invited by two good camaradas. They're two retired cops. One of them, Sergio Camacho, is a retired lieutenant with Bell PD. I think he had over 30 years of experience as a police officer, a great guy, a Chicano from East LA, grew up in Cypress, grew up right there in the avenues, that area. And the guy has stories galore, man. My other partner on the show is Benny Cruz, a 42-year veteran of the San Diego Sheriff's Department. The guy's worked a lot of hardcore undercover details, has handled a lot of secuestros, a lot of kidnappings. The guy has stories galore. And myself, we're going to be on the show. I have 32 years in law enforcement experience. And it's a show, the name of the show, it's called the Gray Line Through the Eyes the gray line through the eyes of a Chicano cop. And it's 3 Chicanos, police officers, that we're going to be talking about current events. We're going to have our first guest. Next week, it's going to be the introduction, but in 2 weeks, we have Mundo Mendoza coming on. We got Ruben Palomares. When you watch the movie Training Day, Denzel Washington plays that dirty cop. Well, Ruben Palomares, the movie is based on Ruben Palomares. And he talks about, he's going to be talking on our show on when he was working LAPD, Rampart Division, what really happened. We got a guy named Hector Belerez going to come on. You watch The Last Narc. We got friends. We got Steve Duncan, who worked the Arellano cartel. So we're going to have a lot of good guys coming on talking about what really happened, not what you read. But the best thing about this is I have my show, Sheepdog Assist, where I help police officers and people in general, military suffering from PTSD. We'll be talking about that. But what I'm really excited about is we're going to be mentoring young Chicanos from the community that want to be police officers, where they're actually going to come on the show. We're going to mentor them for 3 months and see where they're at, try to get them hired. So if you know anybody that wants to be a police officer, have them watch the show, because we're going to be showing them how to be police officers, what's expected of them, and we'll be mentoring them through the show. So this is a show not only highlighting police work through the eyes of Chicano cops, but also at the same time mentoring young men and women that want to be police officers. So every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be sending out the tweets. You'll be watching it on our YouTube channels, but it's going to be a great show. 3 Chicano cops are going to basically tell their stories and hear the stories from other Chicano cops. It's going to be a great show. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I cannot wait for one of those cops to slap handcuffs on Mike when they catch him riding dirty.
Wow, they gotta hook me up, man.
Yeah, EGB, Chucky. In my opinion, Shakur beats everybody at 135. I just think he is the guy at 135. I think he beats everybody at 135. Maybe with the exception of Loma, I don't know, but I think I still favor Shakur, man. Javier's asking, share the link. Is that channel up and running yet, David?
No, it's not tomorrow. I'm actually building it. I'm spending the day tomorrow building it. But on Tuesday, you're going to see it. It's called The Gray Line. And we'll be announcing it. We'll probably put something on our Facebook page so people can watch it. But it'll be on every Wednesday. And if you know anybody that wants to be a police officer, especially Chicanos, we're looking for Chicanos, Chicanas. We want to mentor them and help them carry on the blue flag and carry on being great police officers in our communities.
All right, man. Definitely looking forward to it. And we will be here doing our thing on Los Tres Chingones Boxing. That is my man, Mike Zavala. You can catch him on Mike Angelino Boxing. My man, David Contreras, man, I'll tell you, I cannot wait for this channel to be up. We were talking a little bit about it earlier too, David. It sounds badass, man. So I can't wait for that. Definitely be looking forward to that. Los Tres Chingones Boxing. We will be back at it. There's some fights going on right now. If you guys are watching this live, there's some fights going on tomorrow on ESPN. Don't miss the fight on ESPN Plus, guys. I'm telling you guys that. Don't miss that fight. Check that fight out. You guys will like it. You guys will love it, man. And we'll be back next week. Until the next round. Hey, shout outs to everybody, to all the Chingones y Chingonas.